Hey, what's happening, folks? Looks like baseball is going to go off without a hitch today, at least so far. That's what it's kind of looking at. So let's talk through this night slate.
Yeah, let's get it, man. I know that we just went through our members only video, so I'm excited to talk it out with you even more.
All right, guys, they did it, guys. Overlay DFS has dropped their opening day NFL contest. We are about 17 days out from there. Steady reminder, I need to plan a few fantasy football drafts, but they are up. We will run through these soon, just kind of give our first glance on them. Excited for the NFL season, as I'm sure you guys all are. They got baseball contests up for today. A lot to be excited about.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, like you said, we talked through this one on members only a little bit already. Honed in on some of our favorite plays of the day, top overall teams to take a look at. Write-up will be out at the normal time. If you want it, guys, grab a day pass up on the website. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Thumbs up is always appreciated. So we have about 4 pitchers that we consider to be in play today. And one of the guys that we're both kind of eyeing on is Ryu of the Toronto Blue Jays, who he struggled early in the year, was trying a little bit too hard. Things were not going well. Since then, over his past 4 starts, has been dominant. Over his past 22 innings, which covers 4 starts, 24 strikeouts, only 3 earned runs allowed, 10 hits, coming off of a real nice season with the Dodgers. One of the reasons Toronto made a little bit of a splash getting him. He's not cheap by any stretch at 9,700. He's definitely outpitched Max Scherzer over the past month, which is not going to happen a lot. So we have 2 thoughts on this one. One, you can pair with Scherzer, who's still one of the top plays in baseball, despite some struggles over the last couple of starts. Or you can play him instead of Max Scherzer, which is always a possibility as well. Is he your top overall guy today, or would you roll with Max?
I think Max is my top overall guy, but with ownership considered, price considered, I like Ryu almost every bit as much, man. We're both big Ryu fans. This Boston lineup really does not scare me. And when you consider that Max is going to be, 5-6 times more owned than Ryu, it makes it for an interesting pivot. For me, though, I'm more likely to play both of them.
Got it. Next up. All right, let's talk about some offense. So one of the offenses getting some love today is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays, who, like you said, feels like they haven't been on a main slate in quite some time. One of their best plays for me, at least today, for price per dollar is going to be Vlad Guerrero Jr., who really looks like he's starting to show signs of becoming the guy that people expect him to become, which is, some pedigree coming from his daddy and everything like that. Very affordable at 4,300. He's got 7+ DK points in 8 straight games. And it doesn't even really matter who's pitching for Boston on a daily basis because they don't have one decent guy going out there.
They do not. Their bullpen sucks. It seems like they're just running these guys out with no end game in sight. I heard someone comment that they've got like 2 guys in their whole pitching staff right now that's pitching this year that will be on the staff next year. Obviously they're missing their main guys like Chris Sale, Erod. They dealt David Price. They just are struggling. And you're right, Guerrero looks good right now. Really nice piece of a stack that's in a great spot. He's playing good ball. And we know that when he's seeing the ball well, the upside's real here.
Yeah, showing signs like this guy's, with guys like Tatis and stuff like that blowing up all over the place, he kind of almost seems like an afterthought this year as far as the young players go. But remember how excited people were when he got up last year? Now, he hasn't been that guy yet, but he's young. He hasn't even been in the bigs for a full year. We expect him to become that guy. And over the last couple of weeks, it's starting to look like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up. So another team that we like today is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays. Based on projections early, they're not getting a ton of love going up against John Means today, but Means has also struggled massively this year with an ERA over 10. Brandon Lau is quietly having one of the best seasons in baseball this year with 10 home runs already, a shade under 300. Guy's got 27 RBIs already and an OPS approaching 1,100, averaging almost 11 fantasy points per game. He's expensive, and he's got a lefty-on-lefty matchup today, so he's going to be lower owned. But don't let that fool you. This guy's OPS off of lefties this year is actually hundreds of points higher than it is off of righties. Now, that's a small sample size, but that doesn't mean that he won't be low owned tonight.
Yeah, exactly. God, man, I love this call a lot. We talked about this in our members only video. Seems crazy to want to pay $5,600 for low here, but man, I love this Tampa team. I love him as a stack. He's my favorite piece. He's been their best hitter this year. Austin Meadows was out at the beginning. Lowe has really picked it up and been their top guy. I like him a lot here. He'll be in the middle of this lineup. And as you mentioned, you know, his, some of his numbers are better against lefties and righties right now. And while that might not last, at least shows us that he's good against lefties.
Yeah, he's not struggling versus lefties. He's not
Yeah,
batting 390 off right-handed pitching and 190 off of lefties. So that's something that we're not playing him because of the split, but we're not scared of him where we think people who just give it a glance will be.
thank you.
All right, next up. So another team getting some attention from the public today is going to be the Washington Nationals. Pretty good offense with Juan Soto in there, matched up against the guy in Howard who's given up 19 hits in 12 professional innings this year. Again, we assume the Nats will get some love tonight. Adam Eaton is a guy that probably gets plenty of love tonight because of the cheap price tag and the desire to spend up in pitching. This is more of Bellman's favorite word, cog in the machine type of play for cash games.
Yeah, he is, man. He's just a nice filler look, all formats. Only thing that sucks is he takes up an outfield spot, but you got two other ones to be different.
Yeah, he's dirt cheap. Lets you complete your lineup for a team in a good spot. And he bats in the top of the order, generally between Turner and Soto, which there aren't a lot of better places to hit in all of baseball.
Truth.
All right, next up, let's talk about another team in a crush spot today, which is going to be the Oakland Athletics taking on Jordan Lyles and the Texas Rangers today. So let's call a couple of things just like they are. Lyles has been horrendous in 2020, so you're not going to sneak up on anybody taking a look at Oakland tonight. However, Laureano has been a little bit of a disappointment this year with an OPS just over 700, batting average just over 2, only averaging 7 fantasy points per game. He has not been great to start this season. He is a good DFS player, however. He does, have the ability to steal bases and hit for power. And one of the things that we've been pointing out to people who play MLB DFS for years is when there's a guy with talent who's been struggling, see Nolan Arenado a couple of days ago who is now completely locked in. Look for the signs of a guy with things to come. He walked twice yesterday. Nothing in life is guaranteed, but if you're looking for baseball players about to get out of a slump, look for the walks to start accumulating.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean it's going to happen today. It doesn't mean that, it happens every single time, but that is a big buying sign when you're looking at, especially like you mentioned, good hitters. He's got stolen base and home run upside. He is a good DFS player. Might get forgotten about a little bit in this stack especially because you got other outfielders there like Piscotty and Kana that have, just been better recently. I like this call a lot.
Yeah, this is of all the guys on Oakland's team, we're not going to call him the best hitter. We'll talk about both of the Mats in a situation like that, and then probably your Simeons. But his daily DFS upside is up there with those guys just due to the ability to steal bases and hit for power. I would put him right up there with Simeon as the guy, very capable of those monster days because they can get you from a variety of ways. Like I like Chapman and Olsen better overall, but when you don't run, it does just limit your upside just the tiniest little bit.
I mean, a lot that for sure. I think that on any given day, Laureano does have the highest upside on any of those guys. Then Simeon, then the Mats, and I do think it's like the Mats are the best hitters, and then Simeon, and then Laureano.
But DraftKings over rewards the stolen base and they over reward the home run, and he can do both of them.
If one of these guys, one of those 4 guys, hits 2 home runs and 2 stolen bases today, I mean, it's either Laureano or Simeon. It's not Olsen or Chapman.
Yeah, Olsen probably won't have 2 stolen bases all year.
Right? So, yeah.
Got it, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching today. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button, and we will rock some overlay MLB here basically right after this.
Thank you, guys.